Privileged to introduce to you the executive director of Helping Up Mission, who's been there 23 years, Bob Gaiman.
Thank you, Gary. And we wanted to, at this banquet, share some ingredients of the program that we don't normally talk about, like workforce development, like education, like our wellness center. And these ingredients mean so much to recovery, and we could not be at this place in our history with all these program ingredients that mean so much if it weren't for the long-term commitment that many people have made over the years. So there are so many wonderful things that I could talk about that contribute to lives being saved and transformed lives. And I always struggle with what my remarks should include, given my brief period of time. So this time I thought that there are 4 major impressions that I would like to leave with you. First, the demand for what we are doing today at Helping Up Mission is greater now than ever. The second is that the opportunity to help people out of despair and suffering has never been better. So Helping Up Mission is planning to take a new major step of faith that will expand our reach and help more people. God's favor has always been with us, is truly with us today, and it's now up to us to make the most of the opportunity that He has set before us. The need for what we do has never been greater. I'm sure all of you are aware that the governor has declared a state of emergency due to the opiate epidemic. And according to the Maryland Department of Health and Human Services, there were close to 1,600 people who died of drug overdoses in Maryland in 2016. How does this affect HUM? Well, I'll tell you how. At HUM, 1,548 men made application to enter HUM's spiritual recovery program in the past 12 months. 652 of those men entered the program. There are 500 HUM beds, and they are always full, and 30 men on average come to HUM every week to inquire about help. And regularly, we get requests from women who need the same kind of help. The need is great, and it's growing. It's not going away. However, the opportunity for HUM to help those who are struggling with addiction and their families has never been greater. Today, we're going to celebrate the successes of 127 graduates. The total number of grads from the program since we started keeping records, not sure exactly when that was, but we have 1,432 grads who are out there managing their lives. And every year, and I really want to give our staff credit, and every year our staff gain more experience and the programs become more robust and effective. And we have a holistic program that ministers to the body, mind, and spirit. We are a Christian faith-based organization, and we put our faith into practice. HUM is uniquely positioned at this time in history in the state of Maryland to provide the very best opportunity for people who are trapped in this drug addiction to recover their lives. So because of the demand and our ability to help, HUM is planning a new major faith step that will expand our reach and help more people. Since our last banquet, HUM has purchased 2 properties just down the street from our present campus in historic Jonestown. On your programs, on the cover, you will see the present campus and the new campus, expanded campus, which is two buildings, 1216 East Baltimore Street and 6 North Central Avenue. Now I'd like you to take a minute and watch the video that discusses our intentions for the 1216 East Baltimore Street property. Wow, pretty moving, hard to follow that, but we are going to step up and help the women. So we took a little step. We took a little step this past October. There were some women that were out in the cold, and there was not enough room to get into the city shelter. This was an overflow group of women, 60 of them that were homeless under a bridge, and they would wait for transportation in order to go to the place where they would have an overnight stay. So the mayor and the city came to us and asked if we might be able to help. So we leased a building at 601 East Chase Street. And there we provide a transportation hub. And so the 60 women come to 601 East Chase Street. It's warm, it's really clean, it's really a nice building. They get food and coffee, they get counseling and some support, and then they are transported to their overflow shelter. So it was a little step, but it meant a lot. And we are getting to know now some homeless women and getting some experience. We plan to take some more additional small steps in the near future, and that will also take place there at 601 East Chase Street. Simultaneously, though, we're working on the really big step, a beautiful house for a minimum of 150 children and women and children. And I'd like to show you. Oh, and by the way, those people on that video, the women, they're women from 601 East Chase Street. This is the real thing. This is not, we're not going out and buying movies and showing them to you. This is the real thing. So when you see these people, and I stop in there every once in a while, it's quite moving to put a face on this project we're talking about. It changes everything. A project becomes personal when you get involved with the people who really need the help. So here's the first architectural rendering of the proposed building, and this building will have a new women's program, a new wellness center, and a new workforce development center. And that's 1216 East Baltimore Street, hardly a half block from our present site. So this will be a big step, and we'll be prayerful and prudent, but we have the confidence that God's favor has always been upon Helping Up Mission since 1885 when it started, and we witness his favor every single day. There's not one of us that isn't totally persuaded that Jesus wants to help the poor, the homeless, the addicted, the mentally ill, and now it's up to us to work with him to get it done. So, your help is needed to support HUM's annual fund, and that's what we're doing today. In the future, your help will be needed to support our capital campaign to expand our reach to include programs for women as well. So what about today? Well, expanding the reach in the areas that we've highlighted today on the videos, like healthcare, education, workforce development, and serving the women at 601 East Chase Street, this has expanded our current budget beyond $8 million a year for the first time in the mission's history. With less than 2 months to go remaining in this fiscal year, we're in a strong position to balance the books. I know it's not about balancing the books, but you got to do that. And so I'm sharing this with you. It really is about lives saved and transformed. A majority of the funding throughout the year comes from 20,000 donors giving throughout the year. But 10% of our giving comes through this single banquet event. To meet this year's budget, our banquet fundraising goal is $500,000. That's up from $470,000, which we brought in last year. So today we have received, as I'm standing here, we have received $365,000 of the $500,000 needed. I want to thank all of our sponsors. You'll see the sponsors who are listed there in the brochure, the program. You are faithful, you are generous, and that's how we got where we are. So thank you all. Thank you to all the banquet sponsors. Yet we need here today in gifts and pledges to raise the remaining $135,000. And I want to tell you that we're honored that one donor who asked for anonymity has given $87,000 towards the campaign goal and wants to inspire and encourage us all to give as generously as possible to help the 500 men and 60 women that we now serve. So now I'm going to ask Chris Sherrar, the Director of Philanthropy, to come and talk a little bit about how you can expand the reach and ways in which you can volunteer and give and get more involved with us. Chris Sherrar.